Season 2, Episode 4, Short-tailed and Long-tailed Drums. If you're not using high-quality drum samples and not understanding how to use your drum samples, you're handcuffing yourself, okay? There are different styles of drums which you need to learn to use as a music producer, and I usually categorize these into short-tailed and long-tailed drums. There's different uses for these. I'm also going to play some examples for you in this episode. But again, if you're interested in learning FL Studio with me and learning more about my Beatmaker Trainer platform with over 26 FL Studio courses, just go to itsgratuitous.com and check out my website. You can also download my free book. Just go to itsgratuitous.com/5 keys. Now, if you like the sound of these drums, these are available on my website. They're the exclusive audio drum bundle trio sounds. There's over 2,300 drum samples. A lot of members who have joined the platform, they've taken me up on this offer, and they're very happy with the sounds. As a music producer, it's all about versatility in your sounds, in your drum samples, and quality. Okay, so quality they have to be quality. They have to hit good. They have to be well recorded, but variety is also what we're after. So short-tailed drums, long-tailed drums, different styles of snares, different styles of claps. We're not going to get too much into the claps and percussion in this episode, but let me play some examples of some short-tailed and long-tailed drums. So here's a long-tailed drum. Okay, these are longer in tail, and we use them at different times in our production. They really fill up a track, so keep that in mind. Whereas a short-tailed drum more kind of hits you in the chest. It also hits in different frequency range. So many times you can layer a long-tailed and a short-tailed kick because the short-tailed kick is very quick. So it's not going to really mess with the long-tail too much, depending on how low that short kick hits. So here's some short-tailed kicks. So this one is a little bit of a longer tail. Okay, so if I go in between these two, really short, a little bit longer, okay, but it's still a short-tailed kick. Okay, let's go back to those long tails. Again, that lower end tail can clash with your bass line, so you have to be careful. And this is why it's important to know about short-tailed and long-tailed kicks, as well as understanding about the frequency spectrum, which is sound selection, okay? That's all to do with safe spots, knowing your frequency spectrum and taking advantage of it. When we talk about long-tailed drums and bass lines, these rarely go together very well without some heavier processing, such as like sidechain compression on the low end, so that whenever the drum plays, it reduces the volume of the bass. Okay, many times if I have a long-tailed kick with a bass line in FL Studio, if you click on a sound, you have the in and the out knobs. Many times I increase the out knob on the long-tailed drums to tighten up that low end tail. So I still get a bit of a longer drum, but now I get a little bit more control over the end of it, which means that on the bass line, it's not fighting as much. So if I was using sidechain compression, it's pumping down the volume of the bass. And if the tail is too long, it can be holding too long as well. And if we just tighten up the tail of that long drum, it's not pumping for as long and it's not as audible. You might be able to be a little bit more aggressive on your settings and get a cleaner low end for your mix. Okay, so long-tailed drums are so powerful. We use them to add fullness to the drum loop. You got to be careful because it can really overpower the drum loop. You may also want to use cut itself on long drums. I highly suggest that. So in FL Studio in the channel rack, if you right click on a sound, you're going to see cut itself. And if you left click on the sound to open up the channel sampler, which is where you can see like the audio waveform and you have the in and the out. If you click on the wrench, you're going to see group. And if you went cut itself, you should see cut 1 by 1. Or if you did it a couple times, cut 2 by 2. And that just lets it so that when you play the drum once, and if you play it again, it immediately cuts off the drum before and it starts clean. If you didn't have cut itself on, the previous drum, the low end, would overlap with the new drum when it plays, even though it's the same sound. And when it plays again, there's a wobble and you get this horrible, weak, low end. And that's why you want to use cut itself, so that when the low end drum plays again, it immediately starts fresh. Okay, so I hope that gives you some insight to, how to use your drums a little bit better. We have long-tailed drums, short-tailed drums. We also have drums which are like heavily layered. Again, these are all inside the exclusive audio drum bundle trio. See, like this is a heavily layered drum. Now, this isn't a drum which you can use all the time. You can only use that at certain times in the drum loop. So here's a little drum loop I have right now. We'll play this. Let's take this drum and I am going to play it only on the very, very first beat. And I'm also going to turn it down quite a bit because it's quite aggressive. So check it out. Okay, maybe we'll turn it up. Too loud. Bring it back a little bit. So one thing to keep in mind is, again, I talked to you about in safe spots, that you can't be repetitive. So we always have to be tweaking our patterns. And a cool trick I show you in safe spots is the make unique trick, right? So we can take the pattern, clone it, and then just switch up one or two notes within that drum loop. It adds a tremendous difference for your listener, right? It's just not so repetitive. All right, so closing out, again, if you want to get these drum samples, you can get special pricing on my website. They are by Exclusive Audio. I know the owner of the company. His name is Xavier. We've gone back for many, many years. He's, a very, very good sound designer, very, very talented. He's even done some of the artwork for my albums. He did What's It Gonna Be, Life or Death, as well as The Secret Treasures. You can also grab my free book if you want special pricing to the platform by going to itsgratuitous.com/5 keys. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Hey, Gratuitous here. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you want to become a better producer, then check out my podcast called Music Production Made Simple. It's totally free and available wherever you listen to podcasts. I also run a beatmaker trainer platform. There's over 26 courses in there right now, all focused on FL Studio. It's helped a lot of students, and I'm sure you'll love it. For more information, just go to itsgratuitous.com/courses. Finally, if you like to read, all of my books are now available in one bundle, such as Audio Painting about arrangement, Safe Spots about drum loops, FL Studio Beginner's book, which is going to teach you the basics, my template book to teach you about a fast workflow, as well as proper producer mindset to start your music production career right the first time. For more information on my book bundle, just go to itsgratuitous.com/books. Thanks again for watching. Visit itsgratuitous.com for all your FL Studio training needs.